Virgin Voyages are well known for their Mega Rockstar luxury experience, with Richard Branson himself at the helm on some of these celebration voyages. It's easy to think because Virgin Voyages want to show you that billionaire lifestyle that it has to cost a fortune to enjoy luxuries at sea. Well, thankfully, after years of cost-consciously sailing on Virgin Voyages, we found some tips, tricks, and hacks to try and get that luxury experience for less. I'm David from VV Insider, and I'm going to walk you through 5 top tips to get luxury touches on your voyage without having to spend a huge amount of money on Rockstar or Mega Rockstar Suites. Stick around for a bonus tip of how you can sail in the Rockstar Suite for less than you might think. VV Insider is the #1 resource for the latest Virgin Voyages info, guides and news. From picking the perfect cabin to booking dining, or simply just making the most of your voyage and saving money while you do it, VVinsider.com has helped thousands of sailors around the world sail smarter. Support our work by hitting subscribe and stick around to hear how you can get exclusive perks by booking directly with us. So the first tip I want to mention is an exclusive thing that happens only on Virgin Voyages, and this is a really unique feature of the ships that will make you feel like a celebrity. And this is specifically for anyone who loves champagne. When you step on board a Virgin Voyages ship, you will quickly be made aware of an exclusive brand deal between Virgin Voyages and Moet et Chandon. Moet et Chandon is a French champagne brand that has quite the presence on board. If you enter Sip Lounge, for example, on every single one of the vessels, you'll see this magnificent Moet et Chandon bottle that is encrusted with ruby red Swarovski crystals. You'll also see some comically large Moet et Chandon bottles. Now I'm going to pause here just for 1 second for those that are thinking that I'm pronouncing Moet wrong. I have checked this on the Moet et Chandon website, and I can confirm that the T is pronounced with a hard T. And that's because the name Moet is actually Dutch, so the T is pronounced as a hard T. Now, of course, on board, you'll be forgiven for pronouncing Moet, Moe, Moe, however you like. But one incredible feature that this partnership with Moet et Chandon allows is the ability to shake your phone for champagne. This is called Shake for Champagne, and it's such a fun feature on board, and it makes you feel like a true celebrity. The idea here is when you're on board and you've got the Virgin Voyages app open on your phone, as long as you're in one of the public areas that supports it, if you give it a good shake, you'll see a message pop up on screen which will ask you, are you ready for bubbles? It will also tell you the cost that will be associated to your account, which costs no more than a normal bottle would cost you at a bar. But what will happen here is that a full bottle of Moet will be delivered to wherever you are, wherever you've shaken for champagne on board. Nothing will make you feel like more of a celebrity than just lying there and waiting for your champagne to be delivered wherever you happen to be. You could be lounging by the pool, you could be lounging in one of the sun areas at the dock, you could be in the dockhouse on one of the comfortable sofas, and someone will bring out that champagne along with as many glasses as you need to start the toasts and celebrations. What's more, because this is simply an order from the bar and it's an alcoholic beverage, this will come out of your bar tab allowance as well. So if you've got some extra bar tab to use up in your last few days, then this is a great way to spend that additional bar tab. But that does bring me on to one word of warning with Shake for Champagne. If you do want to use it, it's best not to wait until the final night. And the reason why is because there will be many people trying to use their bar tab allowance, or if they have Shake for Champagne included as part of a package that they bought, which I'll come on to in just a moment, they might have forgotten to do it all the rest of the trip and have saved it up to the last night, which means that you might be waiting a long time to receive your champagne, which doesn't feel bougie or celebrity at all. So maybe plan to Shake for Champagne a little bit earlier in the voyage if you plan to do that. Moving on to luxury number 2, and that is to enjoy the thermal spa on board. The thermal suite in the Redemption Spa on board Virgin Voyages cruise ships is absolutely beautiful. If you're using the thermal suite in Redemption Spa, you'll be advised to go through the thermal spa journey, and I'm going to quickly walk you through it. So step number 1 is you're going to check in at the front desk. You'll then be given a complimentary amount of the nourishing mud that you'll be using later in the mudroom. You'll then be invited to change into your slippers and robe, and then you'll be guided to the thermal suite. You'll then be invited to go into the steam room, where a warm aromatic mist will open your pores and prepare you for the treatment ahead. You'll then move into the salt room, which is a mid-temperature space, and it's filled with vaporized salt crystals, which are designed to invigorate your skin. You're then going to head to the mud room, and this is where you're going to apply that nourishing mud that you were given when you checked in to the Redemption Spa. The mudroom is a tiled space where you can apply the mud, and it includes cold and warm showers for you to rinse that off before you then move into the relaxation part of your visit. So when you move into the relax phase, you'll then enter the main room, which includes a mid-sized pool, which is described as mid-temperature, but in our experience, it's always been a little bit on the chilly side, to be honest. There's also a small warm dip pool and a cold dip pool. There's also a dry sauna, and there is also an ample amount of space to lie down and relax, either on padded sun lounges, or there are heated marble benches if you prefer to lie down flat. A trip to the thermal suite in Redemption Spa will set you back $79 if you decide to go on a sea day. But if you go on a port day instead, it will only cost you $59. So there's quite a saving to be made if you feel like skipping a port or going later on in the day. If you really enjoy the thermal suite in the Redemption Spa, there are also unlimited passes available. The price of those unlimited passes vary depending on the length of your sailing. Simply ask Sailor Services or a member of the spa team if you'd like more information on that. Now we move on to tip number 3, and this one actually bundles up those 2 previous tips that I've just given you. So tip number 3 is to buy the Splash of Romance package. The Splash of Romance package not only includes a 3-hour session in the thermal suite, like I've just mentioned, and also 1 use of the Shake for Champagne function on your app as well, but you'll also get something that's very exclusive, that's only available to those that have booked Rockstar, Mega Rockstar, or are one of the members of the highest level of the Sailor Club on Virgin Voyages, and that is priority boarding. And the reason why priority boarding is so useful is who doesn't want to start their vacation off early? Getting on board even an hour or 2 earlier will help you get into that vacation spirit so much easier. But crucially, because some of the things that you can book inside of the Virgin Voyages app, for example, some of the dining and some of the events, you want to get on board early so that you'll get your first choice of all the times and the events available. Getting on board early is a fantastic perk, and it's great that it's bundled as part of this Splash of Romance package. Splash of Romance package is of course designed for couples normally, but there's nothing stopping you buying Splash of Romance even if you're sailing solo, if you still want access to those features that I've mentioned. As of the time of filming this, Splash of Romance costs $250 for a couple, which actually represents pretty good value, especially if you don't have any other type of priority boarding available on your sailing. This is really the only way to guarantee that you're going to get on the ship early. Splash of Romance also has a couple of extra perks, including 2 cold pressed juices per day, an exclusive cocktail hour event, which is generally hosted in On the Rocks, or if the weather permits, it will be hosted on the Perch, where on one of the evenings of the voyage, you're invited to join the other sailors that have booked the Splash of Romance package for unlimited alcohol for an hour. There are a couple of drinks available. It's not just an open bar, but also generally there'll be some live music to set a lovely romantic atmosphere as well. And then finally, you'll also receive something that Virgin Voyages called sultry bites. These are sweets or candies that are delivered to your room twice during your voyage. In our experience, they are really delicious, and it adds a little touch of indulgence to the voyage as well. The question of, is Splash of Romance worth it, is something that we're asked constantly. A rule of thumb for us is if you're going on a sailing that's any longer than about 5 nights, generally Splash of Romance is going to be worth it financially because you're going to be saving money on those cold pressed juices. But really, it's up to you. If you like champagne, if you want to visit the spa, if you want to get on the ship early, and that sounds like something that's worth $125 each, then go for it. Before we move on, I just have a little bit of a personal plea here, and that's to really help get our YouTube channel to more people. So being frank with you, I have a normal 9 to 5 outside of VV Insider. I do this work on evenings and weekends, and I'm desperate to make sure that this is worth the time and the effort. So tell me in the comments if you're finding these videos useful, And if you do, please give me a like and a subscribe. And also share these videos with the people that you're sailing with. If you're in one of those Facebook groups for your sailing and you found any of these video guides useful and you think people would get a lot out of them, feel free to share them. That would really help us out a lot. But crucially, I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the most useful information possible. So do let me know in the comment if we're heading in the right direction with these videos, or if there's anything else that you'd like us to cover, because we'd really like to help in any way that we can. Anyway, back to the tips. Moving on to tip number 4, and this is all about decadence and treating yourself. And that's to enjoy afternoon tea on board. The afternoon tea on Virgin Voyages is something we always hear great feedback about. Afternoon tea is hosted in Sip Lounge, which is a really lovely decadent champagne bar, and it offers a really nice setting for afternoon tea. Afternoon tea is available on sea days between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. If you want to participate in afternoon tea, you don't need to book ahead, you simply just show up to Sip Lounge and ask one of the servers that you'd like to participate. You'll then be guided to a table and offered a choice of 2 different options. One option is the non-alcoholic option, in which case you simply choose the tea that's available from a menu of hand-selected teas, or you can choose the alcoholic option, which is $35 each, where your afternoon tea experience will be served alongside a glass of Moet Chandon champagne. If you want to take a look at all of the different tea options and the menu options that are available during afternoon tea, including the sweet and savory treats that are provided at your table, simply head over to vvinsider.com and go to our afternoon tea page. We have all the information that you need on there. Thankfully, this comes off of your bar tab allowance. So actually, this is a great way to spend any excess bar tab allowance that you might have. And it's certainly a lovely way to treat someone if you have extra bar tab and you want to invite maybe one of your new cruise friends round to Sip Lounge for afternoon tea. It's a great way to chat and catch up and talk about the voyage that you've had and plans to come. A lovely way to spend a sea day afternoon. And that brings us on to tip number 5. And again, this is another way of acting luxurious and bougie through the act of consumption and being decadent. And that is the bottomless brunch options available in 2 restaurants on board Virgin Voyages. If you've seen any of the content from this channel before, you'll know that we bang on about Virgin Voyages food all the time. It is second to none. The dining that's included with your cruise fare on Virgin Voyages is amazing. And one of the times that really shine is during brunch. Now, of course, all of the food available at brunch is part of your cruise fare. So in that respect, every brunch is bottomless. However, when we say bottomless brunch, what we mean is the alcohol. Brunch on Virgin Voyages ships happens in 2 restaurants on board. The first restaurant is the Wake, which is the steakhouse, and brunch at a steakhouse on Virgin Voyages is fantastic. There are options like steak and eggs Benedict, clam chowder, along with some incredible sweet treats as well. Or if you prefer a little bit more of a casual dining experience, you can head over to Razzle Dazzle. And of course, depending on what ship you're on, Razzle Dazzle might look a little bit different. By which I mean, if you're sailing on Valiant Lady or Resilient Lady, you'll have the original Razzle Dazzle experience, where brunch generally has quite an American flair. Alternatively, if you're on Scarlet Lady, you'll be in Lucky Lotus by Razzle Dazzle, which is an Asian-inspired restaurant, where some of the brunch options will be Asian-inspired as well. And finally, if you're on Brilliant Lady, you'll be heading over to Rojo by Razzle Dazzle, which is a restaurant with menus inspired by the flavors of Spain. So expect to see a Spanish-themed brunch there. Regardless of which type of Razzle Dazzle you end up at, here is where you'll have a bit more of a casual and relaxed brunch vibe. And that's certainly not to say that the Wake is stuffy in any sense, it's just that the brunch food that's presented at the Wake is presented in a way that's a little bit more elegant. But of course, anywhere you dine on Virgin Voyages, there are no dress codes. You can be as casual as you like wherever you go. Now let's talk about bottomless brunch. So what does that actually mean? So the food is always bottomless because of course food is included in your cruise fare on Virgin Voyages, and you can of course order as much food as you like. So it's always bottomless in that sense. When we mention Bottomless Brunch, what we mean is the beverages. So during Bottomless Brunch, you can choose any drinks from a set menu of drinks, which include draft beers, wines, and signature cocktails. The cost is a flat fee at time of recording of $35 per person. And from the time of you ordering your Bottomless Brunch, you'll be given 2 hours to order any drinks from this menu as many times as you like. You don't have to commit to just one drink. If you want to try multiple drinks on the menu, you're certainly welcome to do that. You are, of course, encouraged to finish one drink before you order the other. Bottomless Brunch is available as soon as brunch is available at 8 a.m. The reservations finish at 1 p.m. and brunch itself closes promptly at 1:30. So make sure if you want to take full advantage of the 2 hours of Bottomless Brunch that you get there before 11:30. The drinks that are offered on the menus do differ between the restaurants, so do make sure you check on vvinsider.com and have a look at the menus of Bottomless Brunch to see which drinks are available where. And just like the other beverage related options, this is just a charge that will be taken off of your bar tab allowance. So if you do have a bar tab, your Bottomless Brunch cost will just be taken from your bar tab credits. One last note to say on Bottomless Brunch, if you're feeling extra bougie and you want Moet de Chandon unlimited for 2 hours, you can do that as well. It's $75 per person. But if you want unlimited champagne for 2 hours and want to drink like a VIP, then that maybe is the route for you. I've got one bonus tip that will really make you feel like a proper celebrity, either before you get on your Virgin Voyage and after you step off the ship. And that's by getting your own personal chauffeur service, where as soon as you step off the ship, you will have your own driver holding up your name on a card, ready to whisk you off to the airport or your next destination. And that's through the use of a fantastic service that we've used before that helps you get around from the ship, from the port, from the airport. And that's called Welcome Pickups. And Welcome Pickups is a service that we've used in the past, which is an incredibly reliable service that takes you from the port and gets you to the airport or vice versa. We have a partnership with them, which is a way where you can really help the work that we do here by simply booking your airport or port transfer through Welcome Pickups. We have a link in the description below if you need to book your online transport when you get on and off the ship. And speaking of supporting the work that we do here at VV Insider, which namely is to, free of charge, give this information to you, these guides, this information, this news about Virgin Voyages, is to book and entrust your next voyage with us. So we work with the top 10 Virgin Voyages first mate. Over the past couple of years, we put an incredible amount of work into understanding the Virgin Voyages experience, both from the sailor point of view and from the travel advisor point of view. So we're ready to really bring that together and make sure your next Virgin Voyage is as good as it possibly can be. So not only will you be booking with the experts on Virgin Voyages, but also you'll be getting some exclusive perks that are available nowhere else, including ad-free access to vvinsider.com, so you can plan your next voyage using all the tools and all the information that we have without getting disturbed by adverts. And also you'll be entering our Red Diamond Club, which includes a new loyalty scheme to make sure that you get rewarded for making the right choice with your Virgin Voyages booking. If you head over to vvinsider.com/book, we talk about all the incredible perks that you get by trusting your next voyage with us. Now, thanks for sticking around for our bonus tip. And our bonus tip is all about how you can sail as a rock star or a Mega Rockstar for far less than it appears to cost on the Virgin Voyages website. And this is all about your ability to upgrade your cabin through the upgrade bidding process. So the way this works is that approximately 65 days before you sail, you'll get an email from Virgin Voyages inviting you to come and upgrade your cabin type. Even if you don't get an email, if you go to VV Insider, we have a guide on how to upgrade your cabin. And you can click on the link there, put your reservation number in, and you should be able to access this upgrade system. And because this is on the Virgin Voyages website, you can do this regardless if you book through VV Insider or not. Word of warning, you do need to turn off your pop-up blocker if you have one, otherwise it might not work properly. But you will see a list of options for you to upgrade your cabin. Now, a word of warning here, you might not be able to upgrade to Rockstar or Mega Rockstar if you're starting out from a very low cabin type. So for example, if you're in an insider room, you're probably not going to see options for Rockstar and Mega Rockstar, because actually there are quite a number of different options available for you to upgrade to before you would even spill over into the Rockstar and Mega Rockstar categories. So just to make things easier for you and so that you don't have an incredible amount of options, you might only see options up to maybe C-Terrace XL, for example. But if you do see the options for Rockstar and Mega Rockstar, here is your chance to really grab a bargain. So knowing how much to upgrade and how much to bid for is a little bit of an art form in itself. We do have a guide, like I say, on vvinsider.com if you want to read our advice on it. But really, this is your judgment call. How much value do you put on the Rockstar and the Mega Rockstar experience? In our opinion, it's a fantastic thing to do. And if you have the chance to do it, you absolutely should. But certainly don't pay any more than you can afford. You're going to have a fantastic time on board Virgin Voyages regardless, especially if you're using some of the tips and some of the add-ons that I've talked about in this video. You might be better off spending your money on a few of those different options that I've discussed in this video, rather than spending hundreds or thousands of dollars just to upgrade to a different room type. Yes, you're going to get those extra perks, but as I've discussed, you can get some of those perks just by paying a little bit extra elsewhere instead. But my advice is to give it a go. Even if you're bidding the absolute minimum, you never know, you still might be in luck. Maybe nobody else has went for your cabin type, you just don't know. But you certainly got to be in it to win it, and we've heard some great success stories of people getting really fantastic suites for not a huge amount of money. So in our opinion, it's definitely worth a go. So that's everything from our side about living the luxurious lifestyle at sea, even with a red band. So I hope you found this useful. If you have, remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, happy sailing.